Joining us now to review some of the headlines of today's newspapers from around the world is Arise News analyst Emmanuel Efeni. Good morning.
Good morning, Ruben.
Good morning.
Good morning, Victoria. Tundu MK Abiola. Now, let's start the review with this day, Nigeria's newspaper of record. And indeed, the front page of this day is loaded. I will just take the news one after the other. Let me start with the lead story. Wanted Super Cop Abba Kyari, 4 others in Ndlea custody over drug dealing. Police say interim investigation established strong ties between drug couriers and Ndlea officers. Want drug law agency officers to investigate indicted officers. Now, this story is also reported in a number of newspapers, which I will run through quickly and come back to this day. The Guardian newspaper, Super Cop, Super Scandal. Ndlea releases shocking details of Kyari's drug deals. While the Leadership newspaper reported this story, Ndlea indicts Abba Kyari, 4 others caught of drug trafficking. Suspect arrested. Disgraced Super Cop is a member of transnational drug cartel. We have evidence to jail him. Ndlea. Now, the Vanguard newspaper, drug bust. How Ndlea nailed, arrested DCP Kyari, 4 others. While the New Telegraph newspaper, alleged drug trafficking. Police arrest DCP Abba Kyari, 4 other officers. Well, the Punch newspaper also reporting this story, drug business. Police tackle Ndlea agency detains Abba Kyari, 4 others. While the Daily Trust newspaper reported this story, heads to roll as Ndlea remands Abba Kyari, others. Why top brass worked to suppress case. Anti-drug law officers also involved. Police embattled DCP can be tried immediately. Lawyers. Now this story, well, embarrassing, but for Abba Kyari, the once poster boy of the Nigerian police force, touted as a super cop from one scandal to another. But this one, which the Ndlea is handling, that in fact is part of a drug cartel from Brazil to Ethiopia to Owerri to Lagos, is part of the deal. It's quite messy for not just Abba Kyari, but also for the Nigerian police force. For one of their own, once touted as the best of the force, now in this mess. But has it anything to do with his case that is in the US? Not necessarily, because if the government, as some are trying to claim, that perhaps is to stall his transfer, his extradition to the US to answer for other cases. No, the Attorney General wouldn't have come out to say there is a prima facie case if the government has it. But this is a scandal, and himself, all those involved, were members of the Ndlea, part of this gang. Well, from what the spokesperson has said so far, no, those people were just playing along. But in the course of his press conference yesterday, Baba Femi was making particular reference. Under this administration, under Buba Marwa, this cannot happen. Is he saying that things like this were happening and Ndlea officers were neck deep in it before Buba Marwa came, was appointed as the one in charge of the Ndlea? But we'll look at this matter very seriously, and we hope all those who are involved will be properly investigated, tried, and brought to book. Now, also on the front page of this day, we just go back to this day quickly. Above the lead story, Aregbesola tears into Tinubu, accuses him of playing God, says Ambode's treatment will be meted out to Oyetola in Osun State. Yes, it's bare knuckle fight between Minister of Interior, Rauf Aregbesola, and some call him Bola Tinubu, his godfather. I don't know whether he really passed for that. But, of course, they were political allies. That's the most charitable way I would put it. They were strong political allies where Aregbesola served as minister, as commissioner under the Bola Tinubu, no, under Fashola, but he is actually a very close political ally for them to fall out over the second term of Oyetola and perhaps other differences. But we'll see how that pans out. This is not good also for Tinubu, now that he's angling to be the next president, because he needs all his men in his corner at this time. Now, the story on the window story above the masthead, Emefiele, it is Buhari's prerogative to plan his succession. It says he's focused on supporting federal government's economic recovery drive. Yes, and he's been doing a good job of that. Insists it is only God that anoints leaders. I read this story, and of course, he said it was a prerogative of President Buhari to plan his succession plan in line with global best practices. I didn't quite get that. It's for Nigerians to vote the next president. It's not President Buhari who will plan who will be our next president. I think I just need to chip that in quickly. But this defense is being put up, of course, against the backdrop of the report yesterday, the front page of Daily Trust, that Godwin Emefiele is being touted as a candidate to be put forward by some persons in the presidency who are also selling that idea to the president, President Muhammadu Buhari. So this is a repost, and some have been tearing into Godwin Emefiele on social media. So this defense being put forward by friends of Godwin Emefiele, and the title is "Who is Afraid of Emefiele?" Well, I think that will say something about whether there's an ambition, whether there's a consideration on the part of Emefiele. But I just move on to another newspaper, the Business Day newspaper. First time for Nigeria, $100 oil price means nothing. Well, President Buhari used to complain that under other administrations, oil was $100 per barrel. But under him, it has been low. Now you have $100 almost. What are you doing with it? We are paying for subsidy and servicing debt with all our revenue. 90-something%, we've been told. Now the foreign newspapers, quickly, the Times of UK. Diplomacy can still save Ukraine, insists Johnson. Britain and US talk of crucial window as Moscow hints at peaceful solution. Of course, we reported that troops are pulling back from the border after the exercise in Russia. Maybe the window of diplomacy is being explored big time by Putin. Now, but before we go, we must talk about the Daily Independent newspaper. Federal government draws flags for allegedly pushing ASUU into strike. Is it government that pushed ASUU into strike? Ruben.
Well, I mean, we seem to have run out of time, haven't we?
Yeah,
yes.
And if I may, I just wanted to make a correction. Rauf Aregbesola served as commissioner under Bola Tinubu.
Okay, Bola Tinubu.
Okay, so, well, maybe tomorrow we'll still have an opportunity to discuss the ASUU strike further. Thank you very much, Emmanuel.